Welcome to the Power in Motion podcast, the show for women who want to develop a kinder relationship with their body so you can feel healthy, happy, and confident without restricting food, doing torturous exercise, or constantly worrying about the number on the scale. I'm your host, Kim Hagel, size inclusive fitness specialist and certified non-diet health and life coach specializing in body image. This podcast is here to provide weight neutral, health at every size aligned information and coaching on sustainable habits and mindset shifts so you can feel your very best in the body you have right now. Let's lace up our runners and go for a walk while we chat. Well, hello, friend, and welcome to the Joyful Movement Show. This is episode 96, and we have a guest on the show today. Kandace is a recent graduate of my 6-month coaching program, Right Body for Me. That's the program where I coach people one-to-one through their struggles with food, movement, and body image. Generally, the people I work with have ridden the diet roller coaster for years. They know it doesn't work. They don't want to do it anymore, but they're stuck. They have no idea how to eat without following a plan because they've been following food rules for so long, and they feel like without rules, they'll just lose all control. Or they have no desire to exercise or even have a strong aversion to it after years of using exercise to earn or burn food or as a tool to control their body. Or, like Kandace, they're just consumed with constant intrusive thoughts about how their body is wrong and that everything in their life would be better if they looked different. They'd be happier, more successful, more confident, healthier, more lovable. In Kandace's case, as you'll hear in the interview, she really felt that because her body didn't conform to an ideal, that she was unworthy of love and acceptance. She was in a really dark place, feeling like she was simply broken and just couldn't see a way out. If you've ever felt this way yourself, you're so not alone. The thing about body shame, or any shame, is we feel that we need to hide it. Shame thrives in secrecy, so nobody talks about these struggles, but I know they're very common because I see it in my clients all the time, and I've been there myself. So I really appreciate Kandace's willingness to be open and share her story because I know that it will help so many of you listening. I hope that you're inspired by her transformation and walk away with hope that moving past body shame is possible for you too. And if you hear Kandace's story and decide that you're ready to do this work for yourself, please get in touch through my website, which is radiantvitality.ca. and book a free call with me where we'll talk about what a coaching relationship looks like and determine if it's a good fit for you. So let's hear from Kandace. Well, hello, Kandace. Welcome to the Joyful Movement Show. I'm so happy you're here today.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Why don't you get us started by just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I am a mom and I have 4 kids. They're all 9 and under. So if you hear it, sometimes they like to pop in when I'm meeting with you. So
Yes.
there's always that possibility. I do homeschool them. So we're around each other all the time. So that's been a big part of my life is learning how to teach them and how life looks doing life together because I really never planned on homeschooling, but that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
I have a pretty great husband who supports me in all of this, and I'm so thankful for him. And when it comes to just me, I like to do a lot of reading and learning, and have some hobbies of gardening. And if I have time to paint, I love to paint and bake. But most of my life is consumed with teaching these little guys that I hang around with all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And swimming a bit too, right?
And I do love to swim. Yes. I
Yeah.
started swimming when I was, I don't know, 10 or 11. And I've pretty much always done it, though I took a long time off when I was having kids. So
Mhm.
now I'm getting back into it at our local Y. And that's been fun.
Cool. That's just
Yeah.
great. Okay, well, you and I have been working together in a coaching capacity for almost 6 months now. You're almost at the end
Mhm.
of your 6-month time with me. So let's time travel here a little bit. Let's go back in time 6 months. Do you remember what you were struggling with? What was the biggest struggle you had back then before we started working together?
when I look back, the biggest thing is I would go in these like thought spirals, and my thoughts would just like take me out for, if not a whole day, even more like weeks. And
Mhm.
there was this like heaviness that was always on me. And I think it was rooted a lot in thoughts about my body. And I was just like super aware of my body. And one little thing would trigger me, like the way something was uncomfortable on my body. Could potentially set me off for a long time. And I would have a hard time just being present with my family. And yeah, I think that was the biggest struggle, and just feelings of shame, both about my body and then feeling shame about my feeling about my body.
Ah,
Yeah.
shame that you felt ashamed.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Certainly low.
I remember feeling really this disconnect because I'm also a Christian, and I believe I know based on the Bible, I know that I am loved, and there was just this disconnect that I couldn't really believe it, and I couldn't figure out why. And I felt ashamed, like even saying that I was a Christian, but just not being able to feel that and know that. That was kind of a big thing for me too.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you recall the stories that were going through your brain about your body? Like, what were kind of the thoughts that were on repeat at that time?
Mm. Um, just that it was not good. I just had this overwhelming sense of it's not good, it's not right. And then a whole slew of just really awful words that my brain would tell myself.
Mhm.
And that would just go on repeat all day. And even if I tried to question it, I just couldn't get out of it. It's just there.
Yeah. And you said it
Yeah.
really affected your relationships with your kids, your ability to be present. How did that show up? What things were you noticing in your parenting and your homeschool life that we were like, this isn't good. This isn't helpful.
There's just this like over, or it would kind of run under me, this heaviness. So even when things might be going good, I just like felt heavy, and I couldn't, like, I was really easily triggered, really easily angry at things, and it had nothing to do with them. It was just I was kind of angry at myself, and that would come out towards my kids, and not as much my husband. More of that would be I would completely shut down, and
Mm.
I couldn't talk to him because I was ashamed. And so if something was bothering me, I shut down, and he didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to help me. Like, I know he cared,
Mhm.
but we didn't know how to get past that because I was just stuck in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot to carry. So
Uh,
when did you know or how did you know that you were ready to work with somebody? What made you decide that investing in coaching was a good choice for you?
I mean, part of it was these conversations with my husband that just seemed to get us nowhere. He's trying to help me, and nothing seems to be working. And he had said, "Well, it seems like maybe there's something deeper there. Then maybe you need someone else to kind of work you through this." And I was like, "Well, I think you might be right, because I mean, I'm in my 30s, and I've been dealing this, and I mean, 2 decades that I've been stuck in these thoughts that are, yeah, weighing me down." And so I took what he said, and I was like, "You're probably right, but now what?" It was like, I don't know who to even seek out. Um, and so I had started kind of this journey into intuitive eating, and a little bit of like kind of thinking through body shame, and because I recognized that that was the problem, but I didn't know what to do with it. And
Mhm.
then somebody recommended your podcast to me, and I started listening to you and hearing people's testimonies, and I was like, this could be it. This really could be it. I felt hopeful. And I was like, I think that you would have the ability to kind of help with these things. I recognized that it was something going on in my thoughts, but I didn't know what to do with it. And it seemed like that's what you were doing. That was the exact work that you were doing. And I was really excited. So I was like, we just got to do it.
Mhm.
Whatever it takes, I got to make it happen. Even if that means my kids are watching a little more movies than I would prefer.
Which I
It will be
love. They
listening.
they they usually do poke their head in while we're coaching and let me know what movie they're watching, and
Yes,
they're
yes,
just
they do.
adorable. They're so sweet.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm so glad that you landed on my podcast and that you decided
Oh,
to do the work. So you did, and you dug in, like, right from day one. I can say you were a willing participant. You were so agreeable to be coached, and you really
mhm,
dug in and did the work. So
mhm.
what did you become aware of as you started to dig in? What core beliefs did you figure out were looming under the surface that you had no idea?
Yeah. Really quickly, I learned that this voice that I am not enough and I'm not lovable, those two were super prevalent.
Mhm.
And it would also cause me to believe I'm not equipped to do whatever it is I'm trying to do, whether that be mothering or being a wife or teaching my kids or just being a friend. Yeah. Those voices of I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, and I'm not equipped
Uh-huh.
came out.
Yeah. And how did that start to shift? Like, what was the process of that beginning to change?
I mean, for me, I had to hold it up to what the Bible says and that I am loved no matter what. And before I had tried to tell myself that, but I didn't realize that I had this belief that was so attached.
Yeah.
And so finally learning that was there and speaking truth to that and looking for evidence to the contrary
Yeah.
and beginning to, maybe I didn't feel it fully, but you talked about these thought ladders to kind of help you. Like, that was helpful to kind of bridge that gap of like, I don't feel good about myself today. And I can believe that it's possible that I am lovable and I
Yeah.
am loved. Yeah.
Yes. That and bridge is such a powerful one, right? Where you can hold space for two competing
Mm,
thoughts to exist at the same time, right?
yeah.
I don't feel very lovable today. I don't feel great about myself today.
Mhm.
And I'm learning to see that I am worthy, I am
Yeah.
lovable no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like there was always an intellectual knowledge that you were loved. Like you say, you were Christian, you ascribe to the Bible, you know this intellectually,
Mhm.
but your ability to embody it was
Mhm.
lacking. It was like, I just don't see it for myself. Like there's something
Yeah.
about me that's inherently
Yeah.
broken.
Yes. Very much.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just starting to poke holes in that and like training your brain to see evidence to the
Mhm.
contrary. Like you say, that,
Mhm.
hey, yeah, I am loved. Like there's all this love around me.
Mhm.
People
Yeah.
seem to love me despite all my flaws.
Yes, that was a big one. Like, people tell me all the time, like my husband and friends and even my kids. And I'd be like, okay, that's great, but I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where it would go. And I felt, bad for them because I know they're trying to love me the best they know how. And it just never touched me until I kind of started ripping out that core belief that was in there and
Yeah.
holding space for another belief.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
relearning to give that love and acceptance you so
Mhm.
desperately wanted to yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's big stuff. So, and you did do it. You started to make I've seen a huge shift in that with you in the last 6 months, big changes. And as a result, as you started to embody this, that like, hey, I am worthy of love. I can show myself that love and acceptance. What else started to change? What was the ripple
Mm,
effect of that?
mm, Man, there's a whole lot. So, with my body shame, I realized how connected to the culture. And I had to really ask myself, do I really believe what culture says?
Mm,
And even if I would say I didn't, there was a large part of it just kind of wanted to believe, I think, what culture said. And then I really looked at how it was affecting my life to believe
mhm,
the diet culture, thin ideal, and how even if I did like try to fall into that, is
mhm.
that really the life that I wanted? Because it was going to consume so much of my time and energy. I mean, I had already been doing this for
Yeah.
decades, and it was not working.
Right. So losing weight, changing your body, you realize that was not the solution to get out of this body shame and this obsession
Yeah,
over your body.
yeah. And I think the last, like, year or 2, I had started to see
Mhm.
that it just losing weight wasn't going to fix what was happening in my mind, and it had to be the thought change.
Mhm.
And so starting to see that my health was not dependent on my weight and that I could still do things and be healthy and that that would actually make me feel good. And it doesn't have to be that I'm a certain size or a weight.
Mhm.
Um,
Is that what led you back to swimming? Because I know when we first started working together, that was another thing you brought up, like, you weren't doing a whole lot of activity, you felt really bad about that, but of course, like most people, you had weight loss tied up with physical activity.
mhm.
So, then you started swimming again. Was that available to you now because you had this shift in your body image that you were like, "I can just actually go and swim because it's fun and I like to do it?"
Yeah, for sure. There was that shift, and I can just do it because I want to. And I don't have to look at what everybody else looks like and compare myself to them. I can just be there and do it because I actually like the feeling of swimming and I like to feel like my body's stronger in that way. And I can see the changes that it's making and just enjoy the changes and not focus on the metrics of my body. Like that's not even a thought anymore.
Huh.
It's so freeing because I just look back at how much of my time was spent just thinking like, yeah, how has my body changed? And is it going to change? And let me look ahead by 6 months or a year. Like I would spend so much time just thinking about that and not even enjoying the good things that were happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, so it's freed up a lot of space in your brain as far as,
Yes.
like, dwelling on your body and all the what ifs that are associated with that, and you're
Mhm.
getting moving and you're engaging with food in a way that feels good for you,
Mhm.
and then you noticed a bunch of other things that you didn't expect. Like, talk to me about
Oh,
your homeschooling and your
yes.
relationship with your husband. What's changed there?
Oh, man. Yeah, with homeschooling, I wasn't aware of it before, but I realized how prevalent this not good enough voice was, or that I'm not doing enough, and
Mhm.
that it was really making it hard to teach my kids and be with them because I was constantly just kind of stressed about, am I doing it right? Am I going to fail them? Those what if questions that I would ask about my body was now being then applied to homeschooling. And when I really got down to it and I started redefining what my success would look like,
Mhm.
um, it freed up a lot. I think it again goes back to culture telling you, like even in the homeschool circles, there's the culture there that says you should be doing all these things and it should look a certain way. And I had to ask myself, do I really believe that? And is it serving me to believe that? And realizing how much it was actually making things harder, giving me like stealing this freedom and peace and joy in our school days.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So how has that shifted now that you're starting to believe that you are enough, you know enough, and you are the best teacher for your kids?
Hmm. Definitely something I'm still working
Yeah.
through, but being able to know that I am enough to do this, I can walk into the day and just like kind of take whatever comes and know that it's not going to look perfect, but that doesn't reflect on who I am. Like
Yes.
I am stable, where before a bad day would mean like I'm a bad person and I've failed. And I would go in that spiral of
Yeah.
negativity. And then I'd be like, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to run away.
Yeah. Well, of course you don't wanna do it anymore,
Ah,
right? When a small mistake means you're a terrible
oh,
person and, like,
yes.
you're catastrophizing this whole situation where your kids are gonna end up ruined because you made one mistake in your homeschooling day. Like,
Yes.
but that's and it's not to make light of it, like, this is what happens in our brain. These are the tales that we spin and
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always interesting to me the ripple effect of this work. My clients come for a variety of different reasons, but usually it has to do with body image, eating, or food. There's a struggle
Mhm.
in one of those 3 areas
Mhm.
that they really wanna get to the root of. And they do that, and that usually resolves pretty quickly, like you found, right? That's kind of in the first couple of months of work, but then you realize that was just the distractor. That was just
Yeah.
that was the thing on the surface, and it's a deeper
Mhm.
issue. It's a core belief, like, what I thought was about my body is really a belief about
Mhm.
myself, and how I think about myself isn't just exclusive to my body, it's everything
It's
in life,
every
right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
could not believe how many things we talked about that this dealt with, these core beliefs applied to that had nothing to do with, yeah,
Yeah.
what my body looks like or how I'm eating or exercising. And like, really? That applies to too, or that's touching that? And
Yeah.
yeah, I was really surprised.
Would you
But
say
it's
that's
really
your
fun.
biggest learning, like, how this way of thinking,
Oh,
how this model applies to pretty much any situation, or is there another learning that you are
oh.
really kind of blown away by?
I think it had to do with the thoughts, how important that is, and that your thoughts really control everything. It affects how you feel and then what you do and the results that you're seeing every day. And I knew that the thoughts were important, but I don't think I realized how everything could kind of be traced back to them. My tendency to be angry pretty often with my kids, it went back to my feelings of inadequacy when it
Mhm.
came to teaching them and being their mom. I didn't realize that. And now I do. And now I can change it. I can change the thoughts and it can
Yeah.
change everything.
Yeah.
So,
It's both humbling and freeing at the same time, right? Like, it
mhm,
it can feel kinda heavy to, like, "Oh, it's all about my thoughts," like, it's not my kid's fault that I'm mad at them.
mhm.
It's
Yeah.
it's like all the responsibility lands on you, but at the same time, that's the part that you have the power
Yes.
to change. You can't really change your kids, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So tell
Mhm,
me, in this work, well, in life in general, I think it's really easy to see what's not working, to see our
mhm,
shortcomings, to see our
mhm.
faults. We're not as good at seeing our success and celebrating ourselves and seeing what's working. So it's time to sit on the tack and tell me, what are you celebrating?
Yeah. I am definitely celebrating this like freed up mental space and the ability to not go down those spirals. I'm celebrating being present with my family and being able to be more open with my husband and not just shutting him out. I'm celebrating how my mind presents other thoughts to me that were not there 6 months ago. Yeah. And yeah, and I'm really excited about being able to like create the narrative of my life. Like I feel like I have control of it now, where before I was just kind of going along with wherever my thoughts would take me. And it felt like there wasn't much hope. It felt like I was just going to be trapped in this.
Yeah,
And so I'm definitely celebrating this like newfound empowerment.
that's incredible. It's true. We can really feel like we're at the effect of our thoughts. Like, even if we
Hmm.
know that our thoughts create our reality, if we don't know that we can change them, it's like they come
Hmm.
in and we believe them and we're like, well, I'm
Well, that
screwed.
stinks.
Like,
Yes.
there's nothing I can do about this.
Yes.
Right. But, learning that our thoughts are just sentences that are passing through our mind and we have 60,000 a day and some of them are true and most of them aren't. And then being able to create some distance between you and your
Hmm.
thoughts and then going like,
Hmm.
do I want to believe this? Like, knowing you have a
Yeah.
choice is hugely
Yeah.
freeing.
It really is.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So what's possible for you now that you never imagined 6 months ago?
Mm. I mean, definitely being able to love myself right where I'm at instead of, if I get to this whatever imaginary place, hypothetical place, then I can love myself or accept myself. Like I can actually accept myself now. Even if I don't always like it, I can accept myself. And that is really exciting. Um, yeah, and being able to be more present and more joyful in the day, not carrying that heavy weight around all the time, or at least when it does come, knowing what to do with it.
Oh, that's amazing. Could you have ever saw that 6 months ago when you were,
Oh, man.
when you were
I
thinking about
don't think
coaching?
I was just going in with, like, a hope, maybe
Yeah.
it's possible, but I really didn't think so.
Mhm.
I really didn't think that those negative thoughts could actually be changed.
Yeah.
I just thought I was just gonna have figure out how to, like, manage it, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And now that you know that they can be, it's like, whatever comes my way,
Yeah,
I can handle it. I can have my
yeah.
back. I know how to process my emotions. I know how to manage my mind. I can handle whatever comes my way.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What are you looking forward to now that you've done the work?
Mm. I mean, I'm excited about sharing this with people. Like, whenever I see people that are in that spot where I was and they're beating themselves up all the time, and I'm excited to be able to at least share with them, help other people get free from the chains of diet culture.
Right. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
once you see the truth, you can't unsee it and you gotta
Yeah.
tell the world, right?
Yeah. All
Yeah.
these people that are stuck in it, they don't even know there's another way. I would love for them to see that there's another way. I'm also just kind of going through all these different places where I've let culture define what success meant. And I'm looking forward to just kind of continuing that. Like, what does it look like to be a good wife and a good friend and a good mom and teacher? Because the world tells you you have to do all these things.
Mhm.
And I believe and so I'm very much looking forward to rediscovering that for myself. I mean, I've started the process, but
Yeah.
just kind of continuing it and
Yeah.
finding more joy.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like rewriting the story and
Yeah.
creating the life that you want, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. Well, I just wanna wrap up by saying it's been truly an honor to be witness to your journey, to walk alongside you. I mean, I knew when I met you what was possible for you. I saw
Aw.
what was on the inside, and it's just been such a joy to watch you step into your greatness and to see yourself the way that others see you and to like take that in and know what a gift you are. So, congratulations on doing all this great work.
Thank you. I've been really thankful that you're doing this, that someone, I'm sure there's other people, but I'm just so thankful other people are doing this and helping people like me who felt completely stuck.
Mhm.
And now I have so much to look forward to.
So inspiring. Thank you for sharing your story on the show today, Candace.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks for tuning into the Power in Motion podcast today. If you love what you're learning here, then I invite you to take the next step of embodying these concepts into your own life so that you can live your healthiest, happiest life and never again feel held back by your body. Coaching is the fastest, most efficient pathway to taking what you know in your head to actually applying it and seeing results. Whether you're looking to make changes around movement, food, body image, or all three, I'm here to help you nurture a kind, respectful, and trusting relationship with your body so you can feel your very best. Click the link in the show notes to book a free consultation, and together we'll uncover what's getting in the way of you having the results you want. You'll leave this call knowing exactly what you need to work on, and together we'll explore whether one of my coaching offers is a good fit for you. I can't wait to meet you.